get those sweet YouTube views.
You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so
Ready as a letter B.
Shnerdcast, episode 31. We back at it again. We got a special guest here today. We've been talking about him in like a couple episodes, and he's finally here. We got AJ, a.k.a. AJPcrosser.
It's AJPcrosser.
Oh, thank God.
No, you are right. You are right. But
say it again. Joke. Say it again, just so.
It's AJProsser, but it's AJPcrosser in Discord.
Okay.
That's how it goes, dude.
Okay, I thought I butchered it or something. Okay, I got
No, you did everything right. That's a good introduction.
No, it's AJPcrosser. Thank you very much.
There we go.
So yeah, YouTube channels, and we'll put it in the link in the description or in the comments and everything. Do you have a Facebook or Instagram or anything?
I have a Twitter, yeah.
Twitter, if you want to plug that, or
yeah, it's pretty much same as the YouTube handle, just AJPcrosser on Twitter. Should be able to recognize it by the Animal Crossing logo on the thing, or the profile pictures all Animal Crossing themed as well. So you can't miss it.
Nice.
Also, you did a good job mixing these.
Yeah, that was the goal, man.
One thing I do want to say is congratulations to my sister because she's having a baby boy.
Oh, I have a little baby boy.
Yeah, fucking. What was that?
It's probably the ice in the sink.
Oh, okay.
Going, yeah.
This sounds like a woman coughing.
But yeah, we did the gender reveal party last night. We did like a little Star Wars thing. And when she took out lightsaber, it was like either blue or pink for boy or girl, and it was blue, obviously.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing they did now. They have Star Wars themed like gender reveals.
Dude, I don't know if you guys seen it. You guys seen the comedian lady who did the gender reveal when she put like the colored powder in her butt and she farted? And all the girls were like, yeah, because it turned out blue or something. It was like,
that's fucking great.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys haven't seen that. I got kind of big for a second.
No, I have not, but that's like one way to do it.
It is, dude.
Man.
I was like, asked my sister, I was like, is he going to do that? Like, is her husband going to do that?
Just walking around farting on people with blue gas everywhere.
Good news, it's a boy. Bad news, you got pink eyes.
I like that. But yeah, fucking little baby boy running around.
What kind of a name, yeah? Congratulations.
Yeah. Great congratulations.
Carnation, you done it.
Right.
You had baby.
If you don't mind, I want to ask you a few questions about your channel. And everything.
Go for it.
One of the things I wanted to ask was why Animal Crossing?
Well, Animal Crossing was one of those video games that I grew up with as a kid, and it was like nobody really knew what it was except for me and like a small amount of people. So it was like a niche sort of thing. And plus, it was have you guys ever played Sims before?
Yeah.
There's you got like a bunch of like custom ability, and you can pretty mumuch like manipulate the camera any way you want. Animal Crossing's kind of like that too, except you've got these like little animal characters that a lot of people have. Like everybody has their own favorite one, so it kind of works the same way where it was easy to record it and then do your own parody stuff. Like it's not like if you take a game like Call of Duty where it's a first person viewing sort of thing, you can't really do a role playing series in that where you have the stats all over.
That's true.
But with Animal Crossing, you can make it a little more cinematic and make it sort of be.
And this man does make it cinematic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how much stuff is actually like not in game. We just like take a bunch of stuff in Photoshop, self-animate. We do a lot of stuff with green screens as well, because you can actually make green screen rooms, and then
I've seen him edit a video. The last time we were over his house, he was in the middle of working on an episode. I don't know if did you finish that one yet?
Yeah, it's pretty much finished. I have to add like one or two more effects into it, but basically, yeah, it's done. It's coming out March 20th, which is the same day the new Animal Crossing game drops as well. So.
Ooh, nice.
We'll talk about the new one in a little bit, but so you obviously do it all yourself, right? You do.
Like 90% of it's me on my channel, and then I also have my friend AJPcrosser, where he just goes by Jake. Jake Scarfman. What do you want to call him?
Fuck you, Jake.
The
Fuck
Scarf
you, Jake.
Man. I don't know what's going on, so fuck you, Jake. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope he sees that.
he's gonna see us and be like, "Fuck you."
All you guys.
But
Jake's a cool dude. We fuck with him in Discord all the time.
We love to meme on Jake, but Jake's aside. Jake actually taught me just about everything I know about video editing. So I'm mostly self-taught, but a lot of the basics he showed me. So I'm really grateful for that. And him and I have been like partners in crime with video editing for so many years now, and His character is sort of like the yin to my yang of my character, because the character I always play is this like lighthearted, sort of oblivious character, and his is the straight man to my antics and bullshit and all that stuff. So
yeah, they're pretty good too. I've watched a few of the episodes. They're actually pretty funny. Yeah.
Well, thank
enjoyed
you.
them,
I'm
yeah.
glad. I know that it's always demanding when people always say like, can I check them out? Because my last 2 videos, we did like this big sort of special thing that was in the works for a long time. So one video was like 20 something minutes, the other one was like 30 minutes. So
Damn.
I know a lot of people when they're like, they don't realize. They think when they're checking out my videos, they're like, "Oh, it'll be like a 3-minute cue thing." No, this full like 30 minutes of this video. So
episode.
Yeah, so I appreciate anybody who takes the time to check them out. So
yeah, dude, they're pretty dope. Fucking. I mean, I've always been kind of an Animal Crossing fan.
Oh,
like,
really?
I never got into it after the DS version. I don't know which one that one's called.
Oh, Wild World.
Yeah, that
I
one.
played the GameCube version, and that one ate up my entire
Oh, yeah.
memory card. Like, I had no
That's
room
why
for
I
anything
don't know if you
else,
remember
dude.
when you first bought it, it gave you.
It came with its own memory
yeah.
card. Yeah,
I bought it used, so I didn't even get it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And I actually I formatted my memory card so I can play it for a few days.
Oh, really?
But it just wasn't worth it because I realized how much like stuff I lost. I was like, fuck. I can't commit to this game because I can't put it down to anything else.
I got super into it, and I got hooked on it immediately. It was a gift my brother got for Christmas because he saw a friend playing it over at somebody else's house, but he didn't really play it that much himself. So I ended up getting my own. I took my memory card, made my own save, and had the game for like a solid couple of years. And then my brother was like, "I'm gonna sell all these games to GameStop. If you want Animal Crossing, you got to pay me for it." So I'm like, "Oh, all right."
What an ass.
I gave him like $2 because that's all he was gonna get for it.
Something like,
such a
I think
rip-off.
maybe $10 or something.
At that
but-
time when like GameCube was still pretty popular. Like,
Oh, okay,
they were
okay.
really
I had a pretty awesome first town. Since I was a kid and I had like, the stupid cringe kind of humor. All right, so like, well, for starters, my character, like, he was my name, but it was like all caps, so people would just be like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you, Alex," like that.
Oh yeah.
And then the town was just called eBay because
eBay.
I didn't know what I thought, because it was the lol so random kind of like era of jokes, when everybody was like, you say waffles, suddenly you're the fucking king of comedy or whatever. So
do you have like a favorite character you'd like to see in the game or like run into or?
Yeah, there are a few like little NPC characters. There's one. One of my very first neighbors was this black cat named Kiki. She was like,
dude, I think I had that same.
Oh, did you?
I swear to God,
she's fucking adorable. I love her. And then I also had there was this eagle named Apollo, which he's kind of like in our series. He's like a character slash.
Oh yeah, I see
Yeah,
that.
Oh.
He's a character slash narrator of the series. So if you ever hear anyone talking like this in the video, that's him. That's me.
That's dope.
That's great.
That's dope. What about the little mole guy?
Oh, Rossetti.
Yeah.
Rossetti. Motherfucker always coming out and giving me shit just because I turned off the game without saving.
Yeah, I remember the first time that happened because I did something I didn't want to do, and I was like, no, so I reset it. And he's like, no, like he kept on coming back. He's like, you're messing up everything. You're screwing up the timeline, bro. Like, you can't be doing that. And I just remember sitting there for hours just pushing the reset button. Not hours, but like 15 minutes just resetting. I was like, oh my God, he keeps on saying something new. Probably fucking up my fucking GameCube in the process.
That's what he's trying to say. You can't keep messing with the timeline.
Right?
Everything you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I wish I played that a lot more as a kid, but again, since it ate up my entire memory card.
It's one of those games it's hard to like get people into because like I always think to myself, how do I describe Animal Crossing to people without making it sound like the most boring fucking thing in the world? Like what do you do in Animal Crossing? You pay your loans.
You run an errand. You decorate a house.
You just kind of live your life.
Yeah.
But it's like the aesthetic of it. It's so nice to look at, and the soundtrack is awesome, and everything's so cute. It's just.
That's
It's
one thing I will give
wonderful.
it for sure.
You got a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and everyone steals from not steals from it in a bad way,
Like sample
but like they'll sample it and just meme it.
Do you play Smash Bros at all?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
That's
grew
an
up playing.
understatement.
I grew up playing a lot of Melee. Originally, before my channel was Animal Crossing dedicated, I made the channel originally to be a Smash Brothers related thing. So I was
really?
going to be doing what I was doing with Animal Crossing, but with Smash Bros.
That would have been dope.
That would have. I still would love to do it someday, especially with Smash Bros. Ultimate and all the hype that's behind it and all the characters we can work with. But I couldn't do it because part of that, doing the cinematic stuff meant I had to hack my Wii and stuff, and I didn't know how to do any of that. I followed all the tutorials, but I would always fuck up one little thing, and it would cause everything to freeze and crash. And so I wasn't able to get that series off the ground, but that's probably for the better because because back then I didn't do any scripting, if I did one single line, that was it. So everything was basically first try, and now it's like I know better and I try to do everything best I can. But back then that would have been abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how that would have been tough, but I do think the idea of like having a Smash Bros. Channel like that would be sick.
Yeah, I know. I know some people have already done it, but I don't know if it's really gotten any traction. I know it was a big deal back in the day on Machinima. They had a few Smash Bros. Brawl series because, like, right after Brawl came out, people were...
Didn't they do that with actual animation and not taking characters from the game to do it?
People did. They did both. There were a lot of Brawl animation parodies, but a lot of people would take just the game itself and, like, hack it so that they could manipulate the camera, make everything all cinematic, and also add new characters in with the modding and stuff. Which, if I ever do a Smash Bros. Series, I'll definitely do stuff like that. I'm not going to do anything major like put, I don't know, motherfucking, like, Master Chief or something. But, like, if I want to do something like, let's say, Bowser is a character and, Dry Bowser is one of his forms where he's, like, the all-skeleton thing.
Yeah.
Maybe implement that in a video or something. Like, I don't know, leaves the oven on or something, has a gas leak or something. It's just like, how bad is it? It's like, he's like, be honest, is it noticeable? And they're like, yellow.
That actually would be a good
one. For that.
That's actually a good one. I like that. I mean, I'm sure we've all done the little, if you had enough controllers, plug in all the controllers and do a little role play by yourself. Smash Bros. Like, I used to do a lot with Zelda, like Link, young Link, Zelda, Ganondorf. I didn't like record or anything. It was just in my mind, like, okay, I'm gonna be Link and I'm gonna fight Ganondorf now, like an RPG. Like, okay, I'm gonna hit you and then you hit me and then Zelda hits you and then, or like Zelda's in the back watching while fucking young Link fights. Like,
it's nice that I wasn't the only one who did that. I feel like we all do that, but none of us can admit it.
I know.
I can't agree with that because I didn't do anything.
Really?
But do you have enough controllers though? Or?
Yeah. Well, see, this was back when I lived. So I had Sam, Eric, and Harwin.
Oh, okay, so you did have like the homies.
We would just fucking fight for hours.
Sounds about right with that.
Eric would not like take the game seriously, and he'd pick Kirby, go off to the side of Hyrule Castle, and just fucking taunt.
Oh, he would camp?
Yeah, no, he would taunt. He wouldn't even like play the game. It would be me, Sam, and Harwin just beating the shit out of each other, and he'd be sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, that's fucking whack. Everyone whoop his ass.
The day I discovered taunting in Melee, I pretty much did exactly that. I was like, I'm gonna be that guy. I always played as Mewtwo. I was a Mewtwo main, so I would always. His was always the thing where he'd spin around and laugh and go.
Oh, that's right. Who's some taunts that you guys liked besides
in Melee?
Yeah.
Definitely Luigi.
Luigi?
Yeah.
What was his? I don't
Luigi
remember.
just does that, like,
he planks
thing.
Oh, he does the kick.
Yeah.
In the new ones, he just does a plank. He's got a couple of taunts. Everybody has like 3 taunts, and one of them Luigi does, he just planks.
Yeah.
Just fucking drops to the floor.
I think
Wait,
that's
could
from,
you avoid damage doing that? Because imagine if you just, like, taunt and plank, and there's an entire projectile goes right past you.
Have you guys seen those videos where like it's like Luigi does nothing and wins?
Yeah.
Those ones are so weird. It's like trips the hell out of me. Like,
Those ones are my favorite.
I wonder how many times they had to record that just get it right. Because I imagine it would take a couple hundred times maybe, unless.
What if it was like first try?
Well, you could probably tool assist it.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
Tool assist it, then.
Oh, they're fakes. They're fakes.
They scammed us.
I know, right?
But it was still entertaining.
It was. It's nice to see Luigi win.
Luigi minds his own business, and we all fall for it.
So,
I'm powering through this podcast.
Must be good, huh?
It is, yeah. You can barely taste it with the pib in there.
I know, right? You got the pib, you got the vodka with the pib, and you got the Twix,
the chocolate milk that's Twix flavored. Yeah, I am just my poor kidneys. My kidneys hate me.
Kind of going back, I have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? I know you said something coming out on March 20th. Do you have anything planned after that?
Yeah, we want to do videos in Animal Crossing New Horizons because
shit.
Yeah, it's confirmed, everybody. Because there's so much more customability in it, and there's also more camera manipulation. which is what we always need for more recording and stuff. Because
And that's just in the game natively. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So we won't have to do any coding or hacking or any of that shit. We have a whole team of people who do this stuff for us. Like they figure it out. Shout out to you, Ryan. And
a powerful Ryan.
a powerful
Ryan.
call him a powerful Ryan. He's one of the main guys who does the coding for us.
Since we chill in Discord a lot, like there's a lot of inside jokes.
Yeah, I don't ever use Discord, so
I'd recommend it, man. Like
I know everybody's always using Discord.
Do it, and we'll pull you in. We'll get you in the calls, and you'll meet everybody, and you'll love everyone.
Besides Jake.
Yeah, sorry, Jake. Sorry, Jake. I don't even know you, but sorry, bro. You're getting torched this one.
But yeah, New Horizons has added so much, and not just camera stuff, but like just being able to make like, you know, props and like setups and stages, because like back in other games, if you wanted to, you know, make something, you have to either put it inside a building and make sure that your house is big enough for that, or do green screening, or, you know, put it in, you know, in post edit.
Yeah.
But now it's like, if you want to go fucking drop I don't know, if you're doing like a scene in an airport or something, you can just go drop a plane outside and just put down some concrete, and they're really going all out with how much you can customize. You can pretty much make the town how you want it to look, from, you know, hills to water to any of that stuff. Sorry, I think my phone just went off. I'm gonna mute that.
Yeah. Now, one episode we had one of Cameron and our homie, and they were both like just staring at their phones. Like we'd be talking, and me and Cameron were like talking for heck long one time, and I got mad. I was like, dude, this fool's just looking down on his phone, just talking, because it's so distracting, you know what I mean?
Non-engaging.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen or watch when the one fucking guy... That's what he was doing, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That sucks.
Because the way he was sitting, because he could kind of like, because we were out doing it at my place, and where the camera was, he was closest to it, and the way he was sitting, he was like looking at Instagram and Twitter and shit. I was like, oh my god, dude, seriously?
That's like zoom in on the fucking thing and just see, like, oh, he's over here looking at fucking big titty bitches. Alright, bet.
Look at anime titties, don't judge me.
Don't judge me. Anime titties are great.
Yeah, I
never judge a man looking at an anime titty. Like, alright.
If I see a man looking at an anime titty, I'm just like, bro, which character is that? Before I finished college, there's this one dude from his head to his feet, he had all hentai apparel. Like, I would see him with, like, the SS Gridman, like, shirt that's just got nothing but thighs and boobs on it.
That sounds like me, dude.
I was about to say.
And then he had a Hydro Flask that just had, like, again, a whole bunch of, like, you know, you name it, just from, like, every anime girl you can think of, just all doing the ahegao stuff. And he was like, he just comes up to me casually, he's like, you want to buy a mouse pad? And the mouse pad's just covered in hentai. And I'm like, you are a man of culture. I salute you.
Like, I'm not buying that mouse pad.
Right.
Okay.
Damn.
No joke, if somebody like gifted me one of those like ahegao hoodies, I would totally wear it.
Oh, absolutely. I would wear that shit too.
I would never buy it, but like I would totally I would not turn my nose up at if somebody.
I know Cameron would for sure. He has that couple anime sweaters. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Don't you have a jumpsuit kind of?
I mean, like when you kind of like part everything together, yeah, it's kind of like jumpsuit-ish.
Cheers! I drink to that.
Oh, so going kind of back to what you were saying about the New Horizon, it kind of reminded me when you were saying like grab and drop or whatever. It kind of reminds me of a Little Big Planet in that way, where you can kind of just customize your own level. Because I know Little Big Planet's its own thing, like a side scrolling, but like kind of that way where you can just kind of customize it.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's very similar in like just how much you can customize. I've never actually, I think I've only played Little Big Planet like just one time a few years ago, but I remember seeing how much stuff it had to offer, and I was thoroughly impressed by what people were doing. I remember there was even like a mini series that people were doing on, I don't know if it was Machinima, but I remember seeing somebody recreated the whole trailer for 300. This dates that like when they made this. They recreated the whole trailer for 300 using Little Big Planet.
Damn.
And I was like, that's actually kind of cool.
I like that. That's pretty fucking tight, honestly.
Yeah, more games should be like that. You could make your own stuff and make your own like levels and just.
I mean, I guess New Horizons is definitely becoming that because just real quick because you said you haven't played Animal Crossing, correct?
Not since the 3D or the
The
DS.
DS one, right?
Yeah.
So with the old ones, it used to be.
Yeah, it was like 2000.
So with the old ones, it used to be like if you drop a piece of furniture outside, it just it looks like a little leaf on the ground. You could only place them inside your house, but now it's like you can put that stuff outside.
What?
So yeah, that's what I was talking about with like the custom building, like setting up like scenes and stuff.
That's awesome.
So if I'm making a video where I want to have like something outside and I don't want to have to. Because every other time I've had to edit something in post and I need to have like certain, pieces of furniture in the scene, I have to edit it in post, put it in the background, use Photoshop to slap that in there, or just put it in the background as a PNG in Vegas Pro or something. So just basically adding more layers and all that shit. But now it's like we don't even have to do that. We can just literally place stuff outside, or we can even change the whole move everything around so it looks like a completely
editing process and just.
I know, right?
What's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say
Condense.
Condense. No, that is the word. Yeah, it condenses the editing process.
Yeah,
which makes that so much more easier.
Yeah, and it's
you don't have to do that thing with
like Josh or our friends. Dan, he's a good one, and Will, he's still Dan's
on it. A lazy genius. That man's style is very smooth.
So this dude started off at a telemarketing company,
right?
And then he was smart enough that he showed up the IT guy at that company, and they hired him to be an IT guy there. No experience, didn't finish high school, so he's working at this like shady ass place, like telemarketing company as a IT guy. Does that for like maybe 5 years. Finds a better job because that job went out of business. It worked at he was like name doesn't matter. They gave him
solar company, wasn't it?
Yeah, they paid for his online schooling to learn how to code websites and make. Well, that's pretty much what he's doing. He builds websites for companies.
Yeah, he built the mobile one, and I was super impressed.
Yeah,
like, dude, that's just tight.
And so now he's pretty much a contractor. So people pay him to make websites or like design more simpler.
Oh no, he actually does consulting.
Consulting?
I don't. So consulting is, hey, this is a better idea. Like maybe keep all your stuff in order over here, and maybe the program would work better. Consulting, not necessarily doing the job for him.
I could have sworn
At least that's what he told me. So I could be wrong.
When was this though?
This is actually when we went to the fucking pool hall.
Not that long ago, right?
Yeah. That was before he moved.
Yeah. Because that's what he's doing right now. He just works throughout the week. He's like, I was like, when do you work, dude? And he's like, excuse me. And he was like, whenever, just weekdays. And pretty much when I wake up, I'll work for a few hours and then.
Wow.
Yeah. So this full lazy genius.
He figured it out and was like,
Modern Shikamaru.
I'm going to work only like 3 days a week. Fuck it.
This fool actually texted me saying he wanted to come out, like, come see us. Because he used to live.
When?
A couple days ago. He's probably drunk, though.
Yeah.
I would like it.
Yes.
He said he liked because he lives.
I wouldn't go down there, dude.
You know where Wheatland is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a couple, like an hour out.
Hella far out.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
That's the play. It's like an open field for like miles. They have that one stadium out there, right, where they just have kind of. We think that's the same.
I don't know.
Because I think
I haven't gone out to that area. I don't know what the fuck it looks like. It could look like fucking country land. And
I went at night though, and I didn't go too far out there.
I think I think there is like it's just for miles, just nothing but like open fields, and then there's just like one stadium out there where I actually saw Deep Purple and Judas Priest back to back out there.
What?
Back up about a year or two ago.
Dude, seriously,
they were rock and metal are my bread and butter, dude.
Sweet, nice, yeah. What kind of metal bands, rock bands? Because I know Keith, he'd probably like to talk to you about that.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's usually just the classics, like I love Black Sabbath, I love Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Judas Priest. If we're talking more modern stuff, I like Disturbed, I like Korn, Slipknot, Five Finger Death Punch. I know, yeah, that's always the one you don't want to tell people you like because people
notice the pinky.
Because that's the one I use to list them up because I'm going this, that.
Okay, so you might think this shit's funny. There's a fucking Switch game that's just straight up called One Finger Death Punch.
Oh, I know that game. Yeah, you take people down in one hit and stuff. It's like One Punch Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it could be like shovelware, but it's just one of those fucking side-scrolling games, dude.
Okay.
I was gonna say like Five Finger Death Punch though. That's one of those bands that like you never tell other metalheads you listen to that because like that's one of those like
blow up or something.
They get so fucking triggered. So like because honestly like I'll say they're entry level metal, so it's like, people who don't usually care for metal can get into them easily. Is what that means. So you got your fucking center like, ugh, you listen to Five Finger Death Punch, and it's like,
Yeah,
so
that sounds
fucking
about
what?
right. It's a personal favorite, man. Fuck you.
It's a guilty pleasure. They did come out with a new album just this week, and it's the best thing they've made in years. Like, it's actually good because they switched record label companies, and they have a little more freedom with what they were able to do. And even though it's still the same formula they go with, it's like you can tell that they put a lot more effort in this than they did the last two albums they've made. So props to them. And again, I like them. They're a guilty pleasure. Please don't hate me, anybody, because
I mean, why not, man? It's there's some things you're gonna like that people aren't gonna like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's something before? I mean, I used to hate on Drake. I mean, Drake's more popular now. I started listening to him, but man, I can't think of anybody. That's how you know you don't. That's how my sister used to always say, if you can't think of any artists, then you're not a real fan. I'm like, oh. I mean, I listen to some crazy, like old, like my music is kind of like a huge variety of stuff. Like, I don't listen to just one kind of thing. I'm just like, this is like everybody else, you know what I mean? But
right.
Like some days I'll listen to like some Bay Area music, and then like the next day I'll be listening to some like Beethoven or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
I feel it.
So I listened to I remember one time I played it was like one of the symphonies for Cameron. And I was like, dude, sometimes I'll just get like drunk and just play this game, or listen to this music and play games. And he was like, the fuck is it? Like I can't fuck with it. Remember when I was playing that like classical music?
Oh, yeah. That shit was fucking weird, of course. It's like, wait a second, man. I'm not trying to listen to Beethoven. It was just arguably, there's probably times that music is like really effective.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to listen to that shit on the reg.
What actually helped it a lot too is Fallout 4. They have like a little classical station for the music.
I actually feel that there's times where I look up piano covers of like different, like songs that I like, or video game, soundtracks, and I find piano covers, and I'll just listen to that sometimes when I'm in the mood for something a little more laid back, and it's really nice.
Yeah, dude. I listen to a lot of. I know Cameron does too. Listen to video game soundtracks and just like.
Dude, you know it, man. I'll probably play Chrono Trigger after the show. Like, I guess worse.
Chrono Trigger's got some good music. I remember in one old video, I think I had one of the fight musics from Chrono Trigger like somewhere. In one video, we were like fighting a Breloom from Pokemon for some reason.
Wait, Umbrella in Pokemon?
No, Breloom.
Oh, wait. That's actually a little too situational. Umbrella is actually just Team Rocket. If the colors actually match up, so like Umbrella's logo is white,
Umbrella. I thought you were talking
about
like
wear white, red, and black. So I'm just saying now you haven't added one.
It took me a second to understand. I was like Umbrella. Oh, Umbrella.
Now I'm like super high and the liquor's hitting, but like that actually makes a lot of sense.
No.
Yeah. Man, you got even a beard down here, dude.
I know, dude. I was
you
playing
got one
earlier.
little curly key.
I decided it's time I grow a beard. I decided since it's the start of a new month, I stopped shaving as I think last time I shaved was on the 29th, so yesterday.
Going the entire year.
Dating this video.
Do it all the time, right?
See, I think it's about time. I was getting a little scruff when I had forgotten to when I was powering away at the new video. I was forgetting. So there were some days where I was forgetting to shave, and my dad was like, "That looks great. You should try growing a beard." And I'm like, "All right, bet."
Yeah.
For real, all right, bet.
So I'm gonna do it this time. I shaved yesterday because I was getting together with somebody, and I was like, "Man, I don't want to look." Because it was kind of like patchy in some places, because there's always that, there's that awkward phase for a bit before you actually really grow it out where it is.
The trick is you have to shave constantly. Once you get the pores open, it just
okay. So actually using a razor really does help and stuff. Okay, because I've been using a razor for years, so I'm already halfway.
If you're just like fuck it, just let it grow out, just go for it.
Okay,
yeah, I love that point.
Like right here. It's where there's always never hair, and it drives me up the fucking wall.
Then just trim.
Well, you can't see it because there's so much sugar. There's like a little patch right there.
Yeah, I have like awkward pork chop sideburns and shit.
It just doesn't grow right here. There's like a little line where it just. But I stopped shaving. I remember one day I was like, I don't want to shave anymore. So I just grew it out a little bit.
It starts to become demanding, especially when you have to get to the neck and it hurts sometimes. Like sometimes you'll like,
Fuck it.
or there's those one hairs that you miss with the razor, no matter how hard you try. It's
Shaving.
like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
because you're not trying to be a neck beard.
Yeah, I never want to be a neck.
I love it. I did want to bring up one thing with the Dragon Ball Z Fighters. So,
all right, but you released a video that you probably.
Oh, you seen that? Yeah.
I haven't yet, but I've been watching.
No,
it.
you saw the.
Do you play Fighters?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, nice. The new DLC came out with Ultra Instinct and Kefla, right?
I'm pretty mad about the Ultra Instinct Goku just because
another fucking Goku.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
We all agree the same. This is another Goku, but they're also going the route of Street Fighter. They're like, fuck it, even Ryu.
They did also give him
even Ryu 3.
He's gonna come with another dramatic finish if you fight Jiren and you beat him on, I think the space level.
Yeah.
They do the ending of Super where it's Goku, Frieza. I think 17.
I watched the clip actually. Yeah, it looks pretty great. Cool. They implemented a scene in it that didn't happen in the show where Jiren and Goku actually like he helps him up and they shake hands and stuff. Like I've seen it on YouTube.
I didn't see that part.
It's pretty good. They handled it well.
So you a fan of Fighters, or you play it, or?
I haven't played Fighters, but I love Dragon Ball Z. So I love the whole Dragon Ball series. When I was 14, I remember seeing because I know it was on Toonami on Cartoon Network when I was little, and I never got into it back then because it was too like intense for me. But then I got older. I was like 14, and they had Dragon Ball Z Kai on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And I looked and I saw it, and I was like, this is actually kind of fascinating. And I looked up like. But there were some things that looked familiar to me, like the androids. Like I knew about the androids, but I was like, I thought they would have taken care of them in Dragon Ball Z. Why is this happening in Kai? So then I looked it up and I found out that Kai was just Dragon Ball Z, except like remastered, new voice acting, new music, and
cut a lot of filler
out. So I was like, damn. So with no bias, I was like, that sounds like a good thing because I don't like filler. And then I go online, people are going, man, fuck Kai. This is the worst thing ever. And I'm going, and then I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, the original Funimation dub's the best. And I go over there. And then it's like just really novice voice acting, this like, like inconsistent soundtrack, and
everything.
And I'm just like, people think this is better.
So are you talking about the older ones?
The older ones, yeah. Because like
I'm a sucker for the older ones.
I mean, and I totally like. If you like it for nostalgic purposes, that's like totally okay. I'm not gonna wrong like tell anybody they're wrong for liking it for nostalgic purposes. But if you're saying it's the superior dub, then it's like I'm sorry, man.
Which dub? Because you're talking about the Ocean dub. Or you're talking about the
original Funimation dub. So not the Ocean dub is good, but like
I stopped that because that famous thing where it was like they went to the Frieza showed up and then all of a sudden here comes Raditz. Raditz is coming back. I'm like, what the fuck? Like we were just about to fight Frieza and all of a sudden we're starting over again.
Yeah, it's weird.
You're talking about the
Switch, like they went from like because I know they started dubbing during where Goku fights Jason Birder. That's when I think that was around the first time they dubbed it when Funimation took over because they didn't know that Vegeta calls Goku Kakarot. So you just have Vegeta like this terrible Brian Druman impression, which is the Vegeta from the Ocean dub. So it's the new voice actor trying to do an impression of him before he sounded more like this. And so he's going like. Goku's gotten a lot stronger.
Oh, dude, I love that voice.
I like the original Brian Druman Vegeta.
He's so great, dude. There's this one. It was on the Namek where he, I forget what it was, but he just captured that anger on because it was one of the times Vegeta got
and ferocity.
Yeah, this is when like Vegeta was still pretty raw, you know. And this is like before he became a good guy and everything. And so it's just like seeing Vegeta being hella mad, like, oh shit, this is a dude that beat the fuck out of everybody.
He's losing his cool, like
right?
You see him, like, cause he's usually the cocky shithead standing back with his arms crossed, all like, yes, I know my power level's bigger than the rest of yours. And then on Namek, he's just getting the like
talking about EP.
Then you actually see him like losing his fucking composure when Goku starts showing because he's a low class warrior.
And he's like, wait a second, this shit doesn't make sense.
How can he surpass me?
I remember it when I always thought it was the Dragon Ball Z dubbing, like the stuff over here in America. It's such a weird situation because you've got the Ocean dub, which still finished, by the way. Like they continued all the way through, but that was like over in like Canada or some shit like that. But then you got the Funimation dub, which completely gets rid of the original soundtrack and adds like this electric guitar shit that's so like inconsistent. That's actually why. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't
you're
get
talking
into
about the original Dragon Ball Z opening.
Rock the Dragon was awesome. Nobody
Rock
wants
the
it.
Dragon.
Dragon balls. Dragon.
And then the fucking guitar solo just hammered in.
Yeah, there were some really awesome.
Yeah.
One of them I really liked it because even though I wasn't a fan of the entire soundtrack, I liked some of the scores. Like when Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, you hear that piano come in. That's how you knew this shit was about to go.
For some reason, like Vegeta always had those like training scenes where everything just goes digital.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? This dude entered the Tron world. What the fuck is this shit?
One line that I will say that I fucking love because it's so stupid in the I think it was in the Funimation dub. It may have been Ocean. It was the Funimation dub. Yeah. Where when Vegeta is fighting Cell, when he's Super Vegeta, and Cell goes like, "How did you get so strong?" And he's like, "I did a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and then I drank plenty of juice."
I remember that.
And I'm like, that is so stupid, but I love it.
Oh yeah.
And it's
like a one-punch answer.
Yeah, and I would say that for the longest time, like my brother didn't get the reference because he never watched Dragon Ball Z, so he was like, you need to do like a bunch of exercise if you really want to get shit. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do push-ups and sit-ups and drink plenty of juice. He's like, no, that's not all you do. You do this and that's like, no, you don't understand.
You didn't get the inside joke, you dickhead.
I'm gonna fucking if you want to go even further back, because I know that you didn't watch the original Dragon Ball, so I didn't know that, like I
didn't watch all of it.
I made this one
the original.
No, not like Kid Goku, original Kid.
Yeah, the original Dragon Ball. I made this one reference to Dragon Ball and went over Camp Z, and I was like, oh shit, you didn't watch the originals where. When Goku first started training with Master Roshi, him and Krillin, they put on these weighted turtle shells on their backs, and they ran around this whole island delivering milk to people.
Shit, I thought it was the dopest thing ever. I was like, that sounds tight. They were Ninja Turtles.
Pretty much.
He gave them little like weighted backpacks that were turtle shells, and they ran around delivering milk to the people on this big island, and that's how they got strong. And I was like, damn, no, you probably need a chiropractor realistically.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, because I remember our homie Keith, he kind of thought the same thing, and he'd put like those little sandbags around his ankle. He used to play basketball a lot.
Like Rock Lee.
Yeah, he really thought he could do that. And I remember after some days, he'd be like, "Oh, my fucking back!" Not when you're running and jumping all day like that, playing basketball.
No, definitely.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing basketball with that shit.
Yeah, no.
He thought it would help his vertical.
That was probably putting a bunch of pressure on his knees.
Yeah, definitely. Not only his knees, his back, dude. That's what was fucking him up. Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? So he was just jumping and landing wrong. That's what he gets.
Well, just running around with those on. You can't run around and jump around like that with sandbags for like 6 hours a day, bro. Without hurting.
You definitely can.
Speaking of landing wrong,
remember, dude, I'm a fucking martial arts instructor. I've done that shit as a kid.
Yeah, but like when you're a kid, it's different. But when you're an adult, you can't be doing that.
When you're a little kid,
you just feel it for a lot longer.
I dare you. I hope you have a good
nigga. Okay, so first of all, you're gonna say I can't do that shit. You know damn well I got those fucking 8-pound weights on my fucking legs in the car. I got those fucking blades ready, kid.
I'm not saying that you can't do it, because you definitely can. But I'm not saying you're going to come out healthy, bro.
You will. It's just you come out sore as long as you don't fucking take a crash.
It's bad for your back, though.
It's the neighbors again.
Yeah, come over. What's up? No,
they're Mormons. They don't fucking want it. Maybe they do.
They
hit him with the unless.
Unless.
Put on your chastity belt and do some unprotected hand holding.
We got fucking.
I'm sorry, it's the vodka.
It's the vodka.
I powered the shit out of this vodka, dude. I'm tipsy.
That's a great cut right there.
Yeah. I like it.
Keep it in if you want. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I like it.
The people need to see that I'm human. I can in fact be inebriated.
Oh wait, look, if you're
well, you'll just blur me out or whatever.
I can put a little picture in there or something.
Yeah, but
Coconut.
Yep. Yeah. And they had all I remember from that night was, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. They had a Godzilla pinball, but it was like the they had like a 1998 American, the TriStar Godzilla, the one that looks that's a fucking iguana. And I just remember getting really passionate over like I was like, that's not the real Godzilla, that's the fucking 98 one, and I was just going off like talking
That's
about how it's not even the
hilarious,
real
dude.
Japanese Godzilla. And
I love it. I love it.
That was
Reminds me.
dude's first weeb moment. He was like, "Oh fuck, I'm a weeaboo. This is how it begins."
Yeah, Godzilla was my fucking descent into weeb culture, basically.
You talking about the cartoon Godzilla or?
There was the cartoon Godzilla, which is pretty cool, but the original Japanese was the guy in the suit fighting the other monsters or guys in suits and the bad dubbing and shit. Those movies are my bread and butter. I have all the Godzilla movies, every
Nice,
single one of
that's
them. No
hilarious.
shit.
The Godzilla. The way I got into Godzilla was my dad liked like the movies, but I saw some of the older movies, just like a couple though, like the ones that came out in America.
Yeah.
But the cartoon is what really got me into it, and I don't know what the fucking little dragon.
Oh, Godzuki.
Godzuki!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a terrible name.
I know. See, okay, so Hanna-Barbera,
Okay, it's Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hanna-Barbera, the people who made like Scooby-Doo and shit like that. They in the 70s they got like because I know the Godzilla lore. I'm the Godzilla guy. So they had
Godzilla
when they got the rights to make a Godzilla cartoon, but they didn't have anything else, so they couldn't get any of the other monsters. They couldn't even get the trademark Godzilla roar, because you know, like when he roars, he's got that noise or whatever going. Instead, they just have some motherfucker come in the booth and go. And that's it.
God, dude.
And it was just so
terrible.
They just had a man scream into the mic. They were like, all right, so we can't get the most badass sound effect in the world, so let's just have some guy randomly come in and just scream into the mic, please. Just a man
it
screaming.
was just some fucking old drunk dude. Just you pay me
Basically,
$20 to do what?
But they did get Don Messick, the guy who voices Scooby-Doo, to be Godzuki, but that's not any better because they were like, no, we just need to do Scooby-Doo screams into the mic as Godzuki. And
God,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I hate that name.
I hate. Nobody
Godzuki?
liked Godzuki because he was just basically like he follows that Hanna-Barbera trope where it's like you got the group of humans and then you got your one weird what the fuck is this thing that's sentient for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they had like Scooby-Doo where he was like a dog that could talk for some reason. Then they also had Jabberjaw, which was a fucking shark that could talk, and nobody everybody was just casual. They were like nobody went. Is that a fucking shark?
It's the fucking 70s, bro. Everybody was fucking...
speed buggy, a talking car. No, everybody was just...
The speed buggy was talking too, right?
Yeah, he would fucking talk. Like, this was just Herbie... I mean, Herbie couldn't talk, but he could do shit, but this was like a legit, like this car would just go into like buildings, just be like, I'm speed buggy, and it's like, and everybody was just so chill about it. It was just an in the norm thing where like the cops, like after they would fucking settle the crime, where the cops would, and thank you, speed buggy, and it's like,
jeez, like what the hell? So everybody's cool with this talking.
So the world just fucking know that there's a talking car, and we're just conforming with it.
They're predicting the future, bro.
Like Transformers.
He was a Tesla. No, I'm just kidding. He was a Tesla fucking 20 years
Well,
from
I mean,
now.
that was a fucking
50 years
a
from now.
casual thing you come across.
But yeah, so Godzuki was just another one of those where it's the weird little like creature thing that nobody questions that just walks around with the humans. And he was like Godzilla's nephew. That was the thing, he was Godzilla's nephew, and I just sat there and I was like, that implies that Godzilla has a brother and his brother has fucked somebody. So there's a girl Godzilla out there. Who the fuck?
Well,
Godzilla?
they lay eggs, so maybe he had a brother that could lay eggs or something, or maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna try to get into Godzuki and shit.
Yeah, I don't even think the Hanna-Barbera animators even thought that far into. They were like, we'll just get a little Godzilla, give him wings, name him Godzuki.
That was a Rick moment right there. That was a Rick. Yeah, that was a
Rick burp.
Fucking Godzuki. That was awesome.
That sounds like some shit we would probably argue too. What the fuck type of name is this bullshit?
He's like, Morty, you're totally wrong about Godzuki.
Morty, Godzuki wasn't a definitive character. He really held the show together, Morty.
I love it.
I don't know, Rick. He kind of seems like a ploy, just a marketing scheme.
Oh, dude.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a small scale voice actor.
Oh yeah, man. It's not
you seem to know a lot of voice actors' names too. So.
Yeah. Oh, I was really passionate about voice actors growing up. Like, I would always be the guy who would actually look at, like, the way it started was because I watched a lot of like different cartoons growing up. So when I would watch like Justice League, for example, the animated series, Green Lantern, he had a really distinct voice, and then I would go and play like
You talking about the old school Justice League?
the like one from like the early 2000s kind of came out.
Oh, I remember watching that one.
Yeah, and so like I would recognize certain voice actors from like Green Lantern being a prime example because that's Phil Lamar, because he would also do that. He gave that exact same voice to this one character named Sig in one of the Jack and Daxter games. If you guys ever played those,
I never played them, but I
they're
think,
great. Yeah, and well, I remember recognizing the voice and being like, oh, that's the same guy. And then I would hear him in something else using the exact same voice. So I would always go, oh shit, there's that dude again. So I looked him up and I was like, oh, it's Phil Lamar. Okay, now I know his name. And I started doing that with other voice actors where I would recognize them and I would go, that's really cool. So I just got more into learning about it because so many people. Like then there were even times where there was a voice actor who I recognized, and then they would lend their voice to a different show that I watched, and I had no idea they were in it. So I just got really into that, and then I wanted to do voice acting myself. So I would just sit there and do impressions of characters that I love, like Plankton, for example. So I would just sit there and go, the Krabby Patty, secret formula, and yeah. So
just a little side. You ever seen the video where they have Cell with Plankton's voice?
Yes, I love that video.
He's like, I went to college. He's all powering up and shit.
Cell's voice is pretty much so similar to Plankton's. It's just a little more aggressive because Plankton's a little more like this, perhaps, and then Goku, how do you like the Shell games?
Dude,
it's like very similar.
That's a good voice, dude.
You'll never catch me, Goku. Not when I shift into maximum overdrive.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
That's from the video, dude. That's exactly what he says, bro. It's hilarious. I love it.
But then maximum overdrive, he's like.
And Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. He's like, I knew I should have gotten the turbo.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, dude.
So yeah,
you're awesome, man.
Thank you. I'm happy to be glad you guys like it. Because I never want to I always worry whenever I do too much voiceover or if I'm too loud. I never want to be too overwhelming for people. So I'm glad you guys appreciate it. And
no, I mean people.
Like it.
I mean, I'm glad you're here because people hear us all the time, and we'll have our homies and friends come on all the time, and they always see us. So it's good to have somebody new.
Yeah. It's always an honor.
No problem, man. I mean, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you. Allow me to join in on that.
Yeah, officially.
So this time it's water. This boy over here just dying.
You dehydrate to inebriation. I know you're talking about voice acting and stuff. But
that's impersonation.
That's something I want to because the first time I ever realized voice acting was probably because Cameron showed me Team 4-Star.
Yeah, love Team 4-Star.
Yeah, they're awesome. I think.
What the fuck? I don't even remember that.
It was in high school, dude.
Holy shit.
You showed me them, and I wasn't interested because I was like,
I died 6 times in high school, but whatever. Nah.
My brain just broke. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think I probably too many concussions, so this part of my brain doesn't work anymore.
I just like exploring the world and learning the backstory. That's the fun thing for me. So I'm more of a story-oriented person when it comes to games. So
I think because you like Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah,
you would love Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Or Project Z.
I've seen stuff online. It looks like fun. It's an open world Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah, even I would play that game. And
it's really RPG heavy too. So you run into somebody and you have a little map. You seen Xenoverse?
Oh, I have the first Xenoverse.
Well, the battle's kind of like that, where it's just you punch and you
So it's a fighter game that plays like a Dragon Ball Z game, basically. It's not like Fighters where it's a fighting game first and Dragon Ball Z game second. It's Dragon Ball Z game. Okay, yeah.
Because you walk around the world, you can switch characters, but there's only you can nick. Sorry, you can.
What?
You can fucking nick. No, you can nitpick it and stuff. You can nitpick it and stuff with certain characters. You can only play Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, Piccolo. That's all.
Which one?
On Kakarot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that one, I think.
But they're adding more to the game.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
I've seen some mods that let you play as everybody actually. They've added
for PC. If you have PC
God,
you
fucking get everything.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody like Beerus. They was in Whis for playable characters, so that tells me we're gonna get a Battle of Gods DLC or something like that.
I mean, because I got all the achievements for the game. That was one of the games I actually just played. I'd just go home, play it, collect the Dragon Balls, just do all the stuff, just get. You ever play Final Fantasy 15? Is it 14?
Which one?
The one with Noctis.
That is definitely 15.
15.
I've never played Final Fantasy,
That
but
one
I've
is
always.
absolute
It seems like an interesting
banger for
series.
sure.
If you have
It
Game
is.
Pass, they just released all the DLCs and everything in the game for free. So on Xbox. So check that out.
Okay, yeah. For every console player, I'd fucking watch that shit.
It's like 110 gigs, by the way. So.
Ooh, damn!
Before I forget, just because we were on the subject of Dragon Ball and stuff, I want to ask you, and you too, Cam, what are your guys' thoughts on Dragon Ball Super?
Woo! So
I think that one's a favorite of mine.
I wish
like
Will
Dragon
was
Ball
here.
Super?
I wouldn't even say that much about it in a negative way or a positive way. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I have
Neutral, man.
yeah. I have the movies were good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of technically Super. I'll give it
Like
that.
Battle of Gods and the Resurrection F stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those too.
But I didn't like when they redid it.
In the end, yeah, I didn't like it in the anime.
It was the animation was so bad. I know they fixed it up and everything. I did really like the God mode or like the God like where they turn to the same God.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool because it was a new transformation, but I just didn't like how they introduced Blue so fast.
Yeah, I feel it.
That kind of triggered me in a way. I was like, I don't. But that was just me. And also, I did love the Universal Tournament.
Yeah, I like him too,
Universe
the
6
purple
and-
guy.
yeah.
Stop time.
Kaba, I thought he was tight, which they
Yeah.
never really did anything with him. They focused more on Kefla and Kale and
Yeah, they realized that making lesbian Saiyans was a lot more interesting because it was something different instead of just a tinier Vegeta.
yeah. He was dude. Seriously, like after they introduced Kale, which was pretty much female Broly.
Yeah.
There was like so much people on YouTube saying like Kale's babe, bro. Kale's babe.
Yeah.
The degenerates fucking kill themselves on the fucking internet, dude.
They just love a fucking buff ass woman.
Yeah.
A tall buff ass woman that says, "Son Goku."
Son
Goku. I liked Kale and Caulifla. I thought they were awesome. I like Dragon Ball Super. I think it's flawed, of course. Like it definitely does not hold a candle to Dragon Ball Z, but I will say this: it's better than GT. There are people who make that argument, but it's like GT. I could.
That's
never
where I
get
draw
into.
the line.
You like GT better than
either.
Super?
Nope. No, not better than Super.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
not, dude.
okay, I'm the same. I've actually seen people try to make the argument that GT is better than Super.
Is terrible.
Step into the Grand Tour.
Up to Universal Tournament or the Universe 6 and 5 or whatever, 6 or 7, I would say those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like GT was probably better at that point up to it, but
Really?
GT did give us the great storyline, in my opinion, for the Dark Dragons. And you have Omega Shenron, and then you have
Okay, see, I will say that was good.
Nova and
Sin was one of them, like SYN, Sin Shenron, I remember was one of them.
I know a lot of people didn't like the stupid let's take Pan and Trunks and fucking Goku's a kid and let's go through the universe.
Cam and I have had this conversation before, actually. I think the last time we hung out, I would have been able to have sat through Dragon Ball GT if Goku wasn't a kid. That was it. Like, because he has the brain of adult Goku. So, see, what made Dragon Ball so enjoyable was because Kid Goku was just so like oblivious and it was so endearing when he would just be like, "Whoa, what's that?" Like I remember he pulled out like some of Roshi's like porn and was like, "Oh, these poor women can't afford clothes," like shit like that. But then he's got adult Goku's more he's cockier. He's more full of himself. That's one of Goku's traits. He's more selfish and like so seeing Kid Goku with those traits, like you just hear this little kid talking down to everybody. Like, I remember there's one episode where he fights Frieza and Cell again. And he's like giving them a lecture, and it's like this is just really annoying to listen to because he's all like, Cell, I always knew about this and that, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, if it was adult Goku doing that, that'd be one story. But again, it's like Goku he just sounds like Bobby Hill, like trying to tell me what to do. Dad, I'm going Super Saiyan. God damn it, Bobby. Told you not to go Super Saiyan. I tell you what.
Damn it.
Dang old Super Saiyan.
But yeah, so like, I would have been able to excuse everything if Goku was just an adult throughout GT, I would have liked it so much more. I think like it still wouldn't have been perfect, but I would have been able to sit through it. It's just it was too irritating
Nothing
to
but
listen
hot
to
air.
Kid Goku
They did bring us one of the best transformations
of Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Now I do like Super Saiyan 4, but not as like a Super Saiyan transformation. Like if that makes sense, like because
It's the same way.
It confuses me because like
because
Super Saiyan 3, it's like you get the long mane, you lose your eyebrows, and then suddenly so you grow your eyebrows back
But
and.
Well, that would kind of make sense because he kind of was going for the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. He kind of went to like a Neanderthal kind of ish.
That's true.
Transformation state.
I guess I never thought of it.
And then when he transforms, he has to turn into Great Ape before he can turn into Super Saiyan 4. So that kind of like goes to like back to the, I guess kind of the original, like the trying to bring the Great Ape. You know what I mean? Back into the.
You know what? That's fair. That makes sense.
And then when he does transform into Super Saiyan 4, he shrinks down from Great Ape, so it's kind of like Great Ape form, Super Saiyan in a way.
That makes sense. I think it would like what I would have liked for the Super Saiyan transformation or Super Saiyan 4 is if they explained it like in the Broly movie that came out like last year when they said that his power like when he had that new form, it was like he was containing the Great Ape power but staying in his like base form basically.
Yeah.
I would have if they used that explanation for Super Saiyan 4, I totally would have accepted that. I think that's a cool idea, like calling it like Saiyan, like I don't know if you want.
The name was definitely lazy. It's just
Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
I think I love the Super Saiyan God. The where it's just him with the red.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Super Saiyan 4 is Super Saiyan Red is probably one of my new favorites because it doesn't have to be like any over the top new design. It's just like he looks sleeker and he's got red.
I did love seeing Vegeta in the movie too.
That was so cool.
Red.
I was so happy they did that because I know he only did that in the manga during I think the Zamasu arc or may have been Universal.
I think it was Universal. It was,
and they in the manga in the anime the anime strays pretty far from the manga for some reason. I think it's because the manga the anime finished first, right?
The anime finished first, and Toriyama is doing the anime. And you know who Torotaro is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's like pretty much like the right hand man, like the underling, like the protege of Toriyama, and so he's pretty much Toriyama like gave him the keys to the manga.
Oh wow!
So he's doing all the manga and everything, so the comics. And have you actually? I was gonna ask, have you seen any of the new comics with the
blue ram guy?
Yeah. I forget his name because everybody has like I think his name is Moro.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. I've seen a little bit, but I've tried to avoid spoilers because I know they're just gonna do an anime again, and I'd rather do that. I'm a
manga kind of guy, just so you know.
I am too. It all depends. Like I remember when Naruto.
Me and Cameron had these conversations before about. Being more about manga versus anime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
See, I zoned out and like
I could tell.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna look at this later. And
you
be like,
fucking send me another one of those edits of me just zoning out, fucking combing my mustache.
For me, it kind of depends. Like for example, something like Naruto. I read the Naruto manga and finished that instead of I did watch the anime somewhere later down the line, but
that Shonen Jump era.
Yeah, I read the Naruto manga instead of watching the show first, just because it was just the pacing is so much better. Because in the Naruto anime, the pacing is ass. You get a flashback every 5 minutes. You have to recap a bunch of shit.
I wouldn't even blame anybody if they didn't read the mangas first because it's not as noticeable or recognizable or findable for like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember reading it in Shonen Jump when I was a kid in fucking middle school or elementary school. Brandon was like, "Hey yo, fucking check this shit out," and he just gave me a fucking whole ass copy of like Shonen Jump. This shit had fucking Shaman King in there. People forget Shaman King existed.
I remember Shaman King actually.
Dude.
Tight.
Yep.
That's one of my absolute favorite.
Which one was that?
I just forgot about. It's so hard to explain Shaman King.
There's a ghost in it, and he's like, it's sort of with some, not like a stand in
It is a
JoJo, but it's
ghost,
something like it.
Kind of, but the kid was like hella modern. He just walked around with headphones and a sword casually. And no one was like, wait a second, the technological gap doesn't fucking add up.
And then he had like a wife or a girlfriend who was like a complete hard ass, I remember.
No, because wasn't Shaman King just a kid at that point?
Something like that, or maybe it was his betrothed or something like
There's
that.
There's probably different, sagas of fucking Shaman
Probably.
King.
I remember they had it on
That's
4Kids and
dope.
they butchered the shit out of it,
Oh,
so maybe
terribly.
that's all I remember from
Terribly
it.
bad, dude. Because when it was in anime, when it was animated, it was garbage, absolutely. But the manga was so fucking dope, for sure.
You unraveled a memory in my brain talking about shonen manga and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, when I was when I was 12, I went on this field trip to go to this one park where we like camped at and stuff, and we stayed in these cabins. It was really nice. But there was like this one like little Asian kid who I like. He was really socially awkward. So like he would just fucking steal people's shit and then just crawl into their bed and like just do whatever with it. So I came back to the cabin one day and he fucking stole like the guy from like, the next dorm over. Like he stole his fucking Naruto Shippuden manga or this like latest shonen like book and was just reading it in my bed. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in here?
Whoa.
And they like scurried away, and I'm like, all right, that happened.
He's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That's
I
good.
feel mad. First of all, how dare you steal another man's book, you bitch?
You know,
I
somebody
couldn't
went to
imagine
their
doing that
fucking
shit
bed
as a
and
kid.
they're like, no.
Fuck, I was taking a sip of my chocolate milk when you did that.
Like you weren't one of those type of people where your shit would just...
That happened to me once, and it was terrible. It got everywhere.
Oh,
Dude,
that
that'd be
actually
awesome to
sounds
go
fucking
there.
terrible.
It hurts like hell. If you ever
Having
do,
milk spray through your nose? Oh, absolutely. That shit would suck.
it's you know what's worse is when it happens with soda. That happened to me once with Dr. Pepper. My dad was doing this really like he was doing an impression of when I was in middle school. We had this one lady who who taught like the kids math and shit, or the math teacher. Jesus, that's how much I've been drinking. She was a bitch.
Do you guys know anything about My Hero?
Yeah, I've watched the
bit.
series and I love it. I like all the characters. They're adorable as fuck and they're also badass.
I read the manga up to...
So,
not
slight
too far.
spoiler, not the entire movie. Not the entire movie.
Go for it.
Just a slight spoiler. So that is major spoiler alert. Right? Spoils. You know how a one for all works, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's just passed down, right? You end up finding out that there's like 9 different portions of fucking one for all, because every single person that has had it put something into it, and now the next person gets that, and then it continues on.
Oh
Okay.
shit! So is
So-
Midori gonna have like more quirks or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, but it gets even fucking crazier. These dudes basically fought someone that was carrying one or all for one, and it totally fucked up the whole goddamn island, and they had to fight that shit by themselves without any assistance.
I remember all.
That's
for
what this
One,
movie
yeah.
was all about.
That's awesome.
And they took it to the level where they were like, yo, what if Bakugo and Midoriya both had one for all, and they were just using it to fight one person?
Oh, so Baku could be like a potential like.
He is a carrier.
Oh.
They didn't spoil it to the point where you don't know if Bakugo is a carrier permanently now, or if Deku does. It was this like very cinematic display of All Might just showing up, like, Midoriya, you gave it to Bakugo. All right, whatever. And then it cuts away with a little bit of dialogue suggesting that Bakugo keeps it and Midoriya keeps it. And you don't know what the fuck happens at this point. My bad. I'm just
Jeez.
babysitting. That's how fucking wild that shit is. And it's like, wait a second, that changes the entire dynamic.
Yeah, that's
Dude.
really cool.
And you don't know if it's permanent or not.
You think
So-
it's just a movie or
Woo!
Yeah, you don't know if it's just the movie. Though.
Burn my finger.
You're right, man.
My fingy. I'll live.
You'll fucking yeah, the thicker skin you got. You'll be
Yeah.
alright, man.
No 3rd-degree burns,
yeah.
no problem.
You don't know if that shit's permanent, and it's the same point in the manga, so it's keeping very traditional. So you don't know if that's permanent because it's up to date with the manga that's being released today.
Oh,
You're
shit.
like,
Okay.
whoa.
That's
What
really
does
cool.
the story carry on from
I'm
here?
excited to see where it goes because, like, because I do know about All for One. You know, the guy they fought. Because I know that I'm pretty much caught up. I'm like maybe an episode or 2 behind on the series, but I'm relatively caught up on the anime right now. So
Nice. Where's the anime at
it's they just fought the mafia or the yakuza or whatever you want to call it. The guy who's got the
It's the
giant.
Yakuza.
right now? The thing on his face?
Yeah, that guy. Gosh, I'm trying to blank on his name. Is it Overhaul?
I think it's Overhaul. That's his villain name.
Oh, right, but then they call him like whatever his real name is, and he gets all pissy about it. And...
Yeah, he turns back into a Yakuza kid, like, man, I'm doing this for the old man. Shut up.
He's like, I just want to help my dad.
Basically.
And he's like, stop being a fuck. And he's like, no. If you really want me to be proud of you, stop being a shithead.
Yeah, I read up to when they All Might retired, so
Okay, yeah.
I didn't get too much further after that.
Yeah, but for anybody listening at this point, all right, spoilers are over.
It's
It's a really good movie.
There you go.
Great movie.
I do want to bring up one thing though, is some of these games that are coming out, and actually for this month, and My Hero Academia is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the My Hero Academia game's finally coming out?
One Justice on the 13th.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's Doom Eternal. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I liked it. I've never really been too
That sounded
into
like
Doom
auto-tune right there.
I've never been too into the Doom games, but I'm happy that it's still going. I'm glad it's got a following.
That's why it's more hardcore to buy Animal Crossings than Doom.
Yeah, it comes out the same day.
It does. They both come out on the 20th. And then there's also Half-Life Alexa or Alex.
See, that's why I wanted to get into VR.
That's right. Half-Life 3 is
That
actually
game
a thing now.
Pretty
It's
fucking nuts.
people have been memeing about it for so long and how it was never going to happen. That like the fact that it's still happening feels unreal to me.
I'm wondering what they're going to go with this one because I don't know. Have you played Half-Life? You guys played Half-Life and Half-Life 2?
Mm-hmm.
Never played it before, but I played Gary's mod, so close enough.
So those,
I would say you played the engine of the game, not really the game.
Yeah.
You know, like sounds about right.
So the way they ended it off was like, if I remember correctly, like Gordon teleported somewhere or something. Fuck, I gotta like do more research into it. But they were like, it was a huge cliffhanger. Half-Life people play this game. That's all. There you go.
Yeah. Half-Life people buy VR just for this game.
Is it gonna be VR?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's what's really insane about it. Like now it's a VR game with hand tracking. So if you walk up to something that requires a handprint, your hand has to match the handprint. Otherwise, it doesn't open the fucking gate.
That game is perfect for VR. Like even the older ones, like fucking,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Because you said you played Gary's mod. You ever had like the gravity gun or whatever?
Yeah.
Imagine having that in VR. Just like
that would be amazing.
What about the One Piece game? The Pirate Warriors, you guys heard about that one?
Is that like the open world One Piece game?
Yeah.
One Piece Odyssey?
It's like what's that one? The Dynasty Warriors One Piece.
I know. It's like Burning.
Man, see, I don't care about One Piece at all, so I could watch that game die. Fuck it. Who cares?
I watched One Piece sophomore year and I liked it. But oh my god, it's 900 episodes long right now, and
no one wants to watch that shit.
Ongoing.
I'm just gonna wait until I get confirmation that they're done, and then I'm just gonna start watching again, and I'll just binge it in like I don't know another week or so.
It'll take you a long fucking time to get there. That's constant hourly watching.
Right.
Yeah.
You eat, sleep, nothing but One Piece.
How much that's filler?
What about the Persona games? You like that?
I love the Persona. I got into Persona 4. That was my introduction to this series, and I fucking loved it.
That was on the Switch, right?
That was on the PS Vita and the PS2.
Okay.
But then Persona 5 came out, and that one was on the PS3 and PS4, and they're making Persona 5R, which is for the PS4, and that one is basically Persona 5 with a bunch of more shit added to it. Which begs the question, why not just do like a DLC edition thing? But
you're talking about Royale, right?
Yeah, okay, Persona 5R, Persona 5 The Royal is what it's called, and they're basically now we're getting to the part where we milk Persona 5 instead of Persona 4 because we had a bunch of Persona 5 spin-off games like Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Dancing, just a bunch of stuff, but Persona Q, and then now we got.
You can, bro. Go ahead, Cameron. Bring it out. I know
what's Cameron?
What's he getting? We don't have any videos, so it's not gonna look silly.
Your boy's just bringing out the tool. Don't worry about it.
He's got a gun. Oh.
They're just darts, dude.
No, they're bullets. They're real.
Oh, man, of course it is.
Oh, that was in my phone. We had a.
That's Russian roulette for you.
That doesn't happen, I swear.
I was trying to form the joke in my mind, but I couldn't do it in time. Beat me to it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Persona series, and Persona 5 was a great revival to the series. I think like it brought new life into it, made it relevant again. I'm really happy about that.
I played the 3DS version, but that one was like a grind fest.
Yeah, that's Persona Q, and then there's also Persona Q2, which has the Persona 5 characters and the Persona 4 characters in one game, and it's kind of like it's a spin-off series.
Okay.
So,
Because it's made by those people that like Titan that make those other games on 3DS. Those same type of games.
So yeah, but if you ever get into one of the like official mainline Persona games, I'd highly recommend checking out 5 because it's been adventure for sure. I love it, and you got all the waifus, so you can never go wrong with the waifus.
But also the music.
The music is
Persona 5.
fantastic.
Absolute bangers.
Really?
Each fucking one. Depending on if you like certain types of music or not. You know what I'm saying? But
it can be like very jazzy at times, and it's
smooth.
awesome.
I just remember playing Persona, the fighting game with Cameron.
Yeah, I actually on that one.
Oh,
Those ones are pretty tight.
Yeah, the Persona fighting games are pretty cool.
Do you still have it or no?
Yeah. Of
For
course.
Xbox?
We gotta play it.
We should bring it out, dude.
We should.
Alright, down.
I'm ready to get.
We'll wrap the episode up. We'll just fucking set up the sticks, dude.
Gonna play as Chie. I love Chie.
Well, I want to move on to the next subject called movies, yay or nay.
Okay, let's do it.
Accident.
Yay or nay movies. I'm all for it.
Okay, so Bloodshot, and it's with Vin Diesel, and he's pretty much a cop he's Captain America, but remade differently. Not like.
So it's a fat what now?
So he's a cop or a regenerated super soldier. It's based on a comic.
RoboCop, but like not RoboCop.
Yeah. See, I kind of fucked up with this because I forgot to show you guys the trailers before this.
Well, I mean, we fucking wasted some time and shit. So whatever.
But yeah, a movie that involves Vin Diesel as the main character, and he's a super cop, pretty much. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. This one is My Spy. You seen that one with David Bautista and the little girl?
I've seen the trailers for
Yeah.
it. It looks kind of cutesy, but it kind of reminds me of something. I feel like it's something that Dwayne The Rock Johnson would do.
Yeah,
he turned it
that sounds
down.
about right.
They got the next best person.
Yeah. He was like, nah, man, I'm not doing that shit.
Yay or nay? Nay.
Nay.
Yeah, I know. That's, yeah. So The Quiet Place Part 2. I don't know if you guys seen the first one.
Never even saw the first one, but I heard a guy from The Office was in it.
Yeah, Jim. I don't know his real name. It's like John Galifianakis or no, I don't know his name, but he. I don't know if he's gonna be in this one. So the first one, like spoilers, it's if you guys don't know anything about it, it's pretty much where creatures come onto the earth, and they're super sensitive to sound. So any sound you make, they'll find you and fucking fuck you up and eat you or some shit.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much the world is infested with them, and so blah blah blah.
I give it a yay.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
I
mean, yeah, sounds alright.
Watch the first one. Watch the first one. If you ever get a chance, if you guys ever get a chance to just like chilling, like I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. Netflix or Hulu, one of those, I think. Pretty sure. So the Quiet Place. Okay. What about Mulan?
The original, like the.
No, I know what he's talking about. I saw
live
that
action.
The live action. Oh, okay.
All right, that one looks dope. Absolutely. Think of like Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon.
Yeah,
but like more modernized in the same level of combat, but in Mulan, the story.
That's what I was kind of
Pretty
thinking
decent.
too.
Yeah,
you know? I'm hoping they're running on tree fucking stems and shit.
Bro, that's exactly what the trailer
I
looks like.
hope so. I mean, I hope that's what we get.
Yeah.
I'll give it a yay, but I am sad there's no Mushu and no I'll make a man out of you.
What if Eddie Murphy made a fucking appearance?
That would be sick. If he's
like
just there as like a shogun or
like
something.
Like a cameo or some shit.
Shogun would probably be tight.
What if they're like doing some shit and it's like the Chinese New Year? And it's a dragon and the head gets cut off and it just shows Eddie Murphy's face like, what the fuck?
And then from that point on, it's just a comedy. It's fucking ruined.
It's just the rest. Like
It's
the movie, you think
ruined.
that it's been an hour and a half. You think the movie's almost over, and then it just the rest was just a comedy surrounding around Eddie Murphy just arranging the marriage.
Jeez, I was gonna say some Dr. Doolittle shit.
Don't even
Get
bring
the
that
fuck
movie.
out of here.
Didn't he? What's that other movie he did where he kind of did the same thing?
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor and Norman.
I don't know if I know Norman, but
She's like, "How you doing?" Or whatever.
that was Donkey and Shrek.
Yeah. Oh, this
I'll
dude
make you
talking
waff.
about Shrek. Oh, fuck.
Somebody had to say it.
Right.
Right.
You talk about Eddie Murphy, you can't not address Donkey.
I mean,
Yeah.
you said waffles earlier.
Also
You said something about like if you say waffles, you become famous or some shit.
Basically.
Right.
Full circle, bro.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So yay or nay on Mulan?
I'll give it a yay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would
After
too.
that explanation, dude. Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of all the new Disney, like I've said before,
Disney remakes and stuff.
the live action ones, you know.
Yeah, the live action remakes I'm not too keen to. I think the only one I actually really enjoyed was The Jungle Book, and even then that's still
That's
not as
the one
good
I
as
saw
the.
too, yeah.
Even though I still love the original way more. But that being said, I liked the new remake they did. I thought it was still good. Everything else, I'm just yeah.
They're just redoing everything live action.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
You
like
can't even call Lion King one live action because there's no actual actors in it. Like,
that's true.
Yeah. I
unless
didn't
like
even
you
watch that one. That's how little respect I gave that. Yeah.
A lot of people, because they made what was it, Dumbo.
Yep. They're doing a Lady and the Tramp remake, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I
and
heard about that
I sat
too.
there and thinking to myself, who the fuck asked for that? Like, was somebody seriously laying there at night going, oh god, please let them remake Lady and the Tramp? Like,
I mean, the next thing is 101 Dalmatians and shit.
Oh,
They're gonna be doing
No,
that
Christ.
shit.
no one wants any of that shit. Then they'll go
See,
too far and be
I
like,
don't wanna
all
see-
dogs go to heaven. Like, wait a second.
oh, a Dog
Air
Blues
Bud. No, I'm
remake
just kidding.
now? Air, but at that point we're just getting CG dogs and shit.
Damn, dude.
Oh no.
It's fucking
There-
LeBron Airbud.
There's already been confirmed there's going to be a live action Lilo and Stitch, and I'm like, come on.
Really? It's been
Real.
confirmed?
Yeah, there's already a live action Lilo and Stitch remake in the
Oh,
works.
man.
Because,
That
oh
hurts.
god, we all wanted that so much.
That hurts. Next thing
Yeah.
they're gonna do is like Mulan and fucking Ice Princess or whatever.
Oh,
Or Frozen.
Frozen.
whatever.
If we were getting a Frozen live action remake this soon, I'd be so fucking livid.
I wouldn't doubt it in like the next 2 or 3 years.
I could see it. I mean, it's probably gonna happen once because that was Frozen came out in like 2013, 14. Yeah, 2013. It's been like
Yeah,
7
I've already
years.
bumped the table like 3 times. No one said anything. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
It's almost it's been about 7 years since. Oh my god, is Frozen already that old? Jesus.
Yeah, dude. It was in
That shit
Kingdom
can
Hearts.
fucking burn
I
in
don't know if you
hell.
played that game.
Oh yeah,
The
I
third
remember
one. The third one.
and they like recreated
That
the
one
whole
wasn't
like "Let It
that
Go"
cool.
Yeah.
song in Kingdom Hearts, and it's on par with the scene in the movie with the animation. The way it looks, it's impressive what the PS4 is capable of.
Fuck.
You played PS4?
I've a little bit. I don't own one, but I've played friends' PlayStation 4s and stuff. So
You son of a bitch. Because I play
It's-
Xbox.
I wanted to
I'm
buy a
just kidding.
PS4, but I thought to myself, okay, if I do this, they're just gonna make the PS5. And guess what fucking happened?
They're making the PS5.
They're making the PS5, so that's why I didn't buy one because I
Dude,
knew
I've actually seen pictures of the dev kits.
this will look
Pretty
good.
fucking crazy. It's shaped in an actual 5. Well, so the reason why is because it's ventilation through the fucking top of the machine, so it cools down like that. They can stack them on top of each other, so all of them just push air out of it.
That's really
They-
smart.
It's a genius
They
design.
can say whatever they want. It still looks ridiculous.
It's not being sold like that. It's just to test the hardware. I probably wouldn't buy it that way either, but I'd probably buy it for novelty. If I could get my hand on a dev kit, I'd buy that shit instantly.
I heard they might make it like compatible, like backwards compatible with like the older consoles, which that'd be great. Because if that happened, then I would have all the reason to buy a PS5 because
That's what
Yeah.
sucks though. Is like everybody's so stingy nowadays. It's
Exactly.
like they want to resell you everything. It's like, hey, you like this? You bought this like for full price? Here, buy it again for half price.
Man, don't start this shit.
these companies wonder why emulation is so popular.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
fucking pay for it. You don't get this
Well,
technology.
Nintendo
anymore,
did
buddy.
take down fucking cool ROM.
That's right, they
A
did.
few years ago.
Still not going to stop the ROM. Like, it doesn't just stop anything. It's like when Tumblr tried to get rid of porn, and the porn bots were still just relevant. Like, they got rid of all the porn artists, but they kept the porn bots, and it's like, great. You missed the target, but you tried.
And then stocks dropped down because everybody realized Tumblr was fucking stupid.
Yep, and
porn.
Then they, just literally, NSFW artists were the only thing giving Tumblr its popularity, and then they tried to give the right. They had somebody else buy the rights, and then we were like, "Are you bringing back the porn?" And they're like, "Nah." And it's like, then why did you buy it?
Yeah, dude, Tumblr sucks.
Tumblr sucks. Everybody's moving to Newgrounds and Twitter.
Oh, back to Newgrounds is coming back, huh?
Newgrounds is making a comeback. Yeah, it's awesome.
I actually would say the same thing. I have seen questionable material there. That's a definite, dude.
Dude, Newgrounds was the first place I ever watched something and fucking had to click hella fast and look around because I was so little.
Same. It was Nintendo, like with a 10 DOH, because like there's a scene. They're doing like a parody of Pokemon Snap, and like you see all these like humanoid like Pokemon chicks with like the giant boobs wearing like bikinis and like the bikinis coming off, and I'm just like
naked and shit,
like looking around.
For me, this is back when like everybody only had like one PC in the house and like one TV.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'd be like watching this on Newgrounds and it's like, oh shit, like my dad's watching TV. Okay, he didn't see Coop. Okay.
It's like before
bookmark. No, I'm just kidding.
Before I knew about like incognito window and stuff, I would do that. So, and I realized I was like trying to find a way to get rid of it because I remember one time I looked up hot girl and I'm like, oh shit, people are gonna know what I've been doing. I was like 12 or 13. I don't know.
Nah, we've all been there, done that.
Speaking of old websites, dude, the old Toonami website was fucking nutty. So there was
games they would have.
Dude, my favorite one was the fucking chess game, but
I don't think
it was Gundams. So I was like, this is dope as fuck. And each one had like their own Fire Emblem attack pattern and shit.
That's cool.
Best fucking game.
Cartoon Network had a good gaming website.
They really did.
Early 2000s too.
I also loved a lot of the Disney games. Like one of them I always played was the Lilo and Stitch one, where you play as that one alien that had the you had to stack up the sandwiches. I don't know if you guys ever played.
There's a lot of those like Flash games.
Yeah, it was one of the.
I don't remember.
Which, by the way, I think Flash is like non-existent anymore.
I think you're
or Java.
All that shit still works. It just depends on what website's using it. Chrome has gotten to the point where it straight up has Flash Player built in. That's why the fucking program takes up so much fucking RAM.
Right.
I don't think you make. I don't know. I just remember seeing somewhere it was like a
no one
Java or
Flash edits. That's why no one really uses it on a main website.
Well, I think anymore. I don't know. I'll talk about it later. I did want to bring up Castlevania, the season 3.
I'm excited about that.
I can't even talk on this one. Like, I don't even remember. I didn't watch that. Haven't been watching Castlevania. I don't have time for Castlevania.
I never.
It's only like 12 episodes altogether.
I never. Everything's coming out in the same time frame, so that's why I'm like, I have to either watch one or the other. I don't have time like that because your boy working all the damn time.
You always say you watch stuff when you play Minecraft or Destiny, bro.
Yeah, okay, but that one isn't on the list. That's why I haven't watched Castlevania. It's good. I will eventually, dude.
Take my word for it. It's got amazing animation and it's really cool. I don't even like
agrees with that. Like the opinion.
I've never even played Castlevania. I don't know anything about Castlevania, but I like the show. I really do. It's great. It's got some good jokes here and there, one that needs to be funny, and then everything else is just gruesome and violent. And the combat's awesome.
Yeah, it drops on the 5th, so it's out in a few days. In a few days.
Oh man, I'm gonna sound like this when I get old.
They're selling chocolates
and shit, walking around like, hey,
what's
up? Fucking
the little thing to your neck.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Alright, but it's actually not a voice box, it's a weapon.
It's not a voice box.
They're selling chocolate.
Oh god, I love chocolate.
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
I always hated it.
Android 17 and 18, I will absorb you. It's the same voice.
Damn.
Oh, Holy shit!
It all comes full circle.
Wait, but is it actually the same actor?
No, that was
Oh,
Tom
fuck,
Kenny.
dude.
Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, voiced the shriveled up old lady.
Right.
Damon Clark voices Cell in all three of his forms. That's who. And he's a
tight.
funny guy. He's also Handsome Jack in Borderlands.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's an
Damn.
entirely different tone in his voice.
You can
though,
kind of
dude.
hear it. You can kind of hear some perfect Cell coming out of him a little bit when he does it. It's like, this is Handsome Jack. Like, he's just...
Oh shit!
You can hear
yeah,
it,
I think
yeah.
I
That
gotta...
sounds dope.
Some inflection in his
Someone
voice.
somewhere is listening to this exact moment. They're like, "What the fuck?" His head explodes in a good way.
Yeah.
in a good way.
So I think Funimation actually dubbed Borderlands, so a lot of the Dragon Ball Z voice actors and other anime voice actors are in those games.
Well,
so.
I mean, my favorite cartoon, Ed, Edd and Eddie.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to mess with the Super Saiyan Rolf, bro.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The,
Goku voices Rolf. I don't know
It's the
his
son
name.
Yeah,
of the shepherd.
you're right. The Peter Calamus, I think. Yeah, he was the original voice of Goku in the Ocean dub. Yeah, the voice of Rolf. It was wild. Is the guy who voices Double D? He actually does anime, and he's still like doing voice work to this day. I know the guy who voiced Eddie retired from voice acting and to go work at like an oil rig or something like that. Yeah, because I guess it makes more money than voice acting. So
Altered Carbon, Re-Sleeved is also another anime that's coming out on Netflix. I'm not too sure. It has a
No,
movie
interesting.
original on Netflix,
Mhm.
and they, I guess, apparently making a anime out of it. So it's one of the things that's coming out in anime.
Oh, interesting.
Shit, I'd probably watch it, dude.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Also, Digimon, they made a movie that came out. I don't know if anybody's seen it.
Digimon Survive. Is it that one?
I think it's The Last Evolution.
I probably would watch that one for sure, dude.
Yeah.
I watched the ones that came out a year
Came
or
out
two ago.
Yesterday, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so.
The last I saw was the one that came out like a few years ago, the Digimon Try or whatever, where it's the original cast, but they're all like grown up now, and
Oh, yeah.
like Leomon dies for the millionth time, and everybody's still for some reason surprised.
It's almost like he's the Kenny dynamic.
He is. He really is, because like it doesn't matter if it's like the main Digimon series or if it's the old one. Leomon always fucking dies. It's just a natural, like it's a must.
Right.
The writer's just like, wait a minute, we haven't killed off Leomon. Well, that's because he's not a character in the series. Well, like, put Leomon in the series and kill him off. I don't care. They literally did that when it was the humans that would turn to the Digimon. They just fucking had Leomon come out of nowhere, and they're like, all right, well, time to end this man's whole career.
Oh man,
He shows up just to die.
yeah. I think I'm gonna try to watch that. So next time we can
Sounds
talk about
good.
it. Yeah. All right. So just to wrap this up before we do, got
Okay.
some WIDs. Would you rather's?
Would you rather? Oh, this should be fun.
These ones always get a little fucking over the top.
Let's
They
do
do.
it.
So, would you rather get
Oh,
shot
shit.
full charge blast from Mega Man or Samus? I'm talking about regular Mega Man, not Mega Man X.
Okay,
Man, that's
then-
always a great question.
And is it Samus is like regular beam, like
See?
Regular
Yeah.
Samus.
regular Samus or regular Mega Man? Okay, probably regular Samus then.
Probably. Yeah.
Been playing a lot of Prime lately, so I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay, so would you rather be Iron Man or Batman?
Ooh.
I mean, they essentially have the same dynamic, but I would say Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man, I feel like he's got the better deal. Like, even though
He
Batman
can
has a
fly.
lot of cool stuff, like,
I guess Batman can kind of fly.
Yeah.
he
to an
glides.
extent.
Yeah.
Dude hang glides across buildings. It's like, all right, I mean, that's cool,
Yeah, he's
but
got the-
it's not as cool as jet propulsion. So
Yeah.
Also, Iron Man's got
That
the
shit
full
fire.
body protection. I feel like Batman doesn't really have as much of that.
Nah.
Probably has like some light fucking,
Yeah.
you know, some weird tethered suit or something. All right, so have a bobblehead all the time, or every minute you have to bend over like one of those little bird things. And...
Probably the bendy thing.
That one's pretty
The little
funny.
water birds.
Yeah.
So what he's talking about is the ones that like dunk into the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah, the water birds.
Yeah.
Oh fucking Christ, dude!
I'd probably just choose that because if I'm bobbling all the time, I'm never gonna have a stable relationship or conversation with anybody. Because I'm the whole time on a date,
you'd
like,
be a fucking
so,
Canadian.
Yeah. So I'd be like, so you grew up in what was it, New Jersey? Was it? And she'd just be like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is involuntary. Just ignore it.
This man have like Parkinson's. Holy crap!
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I probably would be a water bird.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well,
Just imagine talking to her and just being like, no, hold on.
I mean, it would probably look a lot more normal.
So,
You'd be like, well, I grew up in Athens, no big deal, and then so you
or
do
like
that.
if you have to, just be like, I like that drink.
Yeah, or that, just God, involuntarily doing either of those would be hell though for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but
why I
at
write
least
these
you can
ones
talk
down.
to people normally.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't think anything of it if they just saw you randomly just
Be like,
bob
are
your
you
head
looking for
mid-conversation.
something on the ground, kid? Is that a coin over there?
What if you're driving? You just...
Okay, now driving, that's death. That's instant death. That's suicide.
Yeah, but so would bouncing around on the freeway and shit. It's like you can't.
Well,
really
if
see
you have a
anybody.
bobblehead,
Yeah.
you can kind of.
I guess
maybe not.
I guess just Uber for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That would suck. Dude.
That's why Uber's
Yeah.
great for the new age. All right, so have just the very tips of your fingers on your hand, or the very tips of your toes on your foot.
Probably the toes because not everybody's gonna see that.
Yeah. You just have little.
I also agree. You just have like
Little
really big ass
stubs.
shoes for no reason.
Yeah, because also like it would be hard to get shit done. Like if you're working in a law firm like I am, and they're like, I need these papers to be scanned by like 7. I'd be like, audience can't see what I'm doing, but I'm like,
Little nubs.
I wouldn't be able to grab the fucking papers properly.
Oh man. So pretty much end it here, but we'll wait for Cameron to come back so we can end it.
Sounds good. I think I killed him with that last one.
Oh man.
Oh.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh
man.
God, it's been so much fun.
Truly
Thank you.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, I really. Anytime you want to have me on, I'll gladly.
Whenever you want to come on, most definitely. If you ever want to come back on.
I'd love to come on anytime. This has been a lot of fun, just talking, shooting the shit, drinking. It's fun doing this sort of stuff. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, we just try to just have fun, just be casual, and just just come like hand man everything. But we'll cut it off right here.
Okay.
We'll stop it right here. Fucking thank you so much, AJ, for being on. Much
Of course.
appreciated. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent episode. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on here.
And hope you can come back on.
Oh, wait, the triangle.
Oh, the
Part of the
triangle.
Shnerd
Nobody
family
can
now?
see it, but
Yeah, you're part of the Shnerd family for sure.
perfect.
And then-
Love the Shnerd family.
Come back on anytime. Come
Absolutely.
back, fucking more than happy to have you on.
It'd be an honor.
And well, thank you. It's nice to have you on. All right, out.
All right.
Shnerd.
Farewell, everybody.
Shnerd. Yep.